Hey, what's going on, guys? I wasn't really planning on making this video, but I feel like you guys have the right to know what's going on, or I just felt like making it to kind of explain what's going on in my life right now. And so pretty much you may notice that this looks a little bit different than normal in terms of the atmosphere behind me. And you might notice, some of the familiar things like my MacBook and the setup and all, but a little bit of a different room. There is a reason for that. I finally will be moving. I've lived in the same room, house. Well, I mean, okay. So I've been primarily in the same room for the past 12 years of my life. Of course, my parents are divorced. They divorced a long time ago when I was a kid. But some of you may recognize this room as well. So basically what is going on? Well, I am moving, and I'm moving here. And to explain myself further a little bit, the other place that I make most of my videos at, my mom has come down with a very serious illness by the name of ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's something that I really have a hard time talking about while maintaining, my emotions and stuff. But she has that, and it's getting to the point where she can't really live there anymore. And so what's going on is she's going to be moving in with another family member of mine, for the foreseeable future, and I am going to be moving here to my other house, as you can see, that you guys may recognize because I've made some videos over here in the past. But this is this is probably the most emotionally stressing thing I've ever been through in my entire life, and I wish it upon no one. It's really depressing to know that I'm going to be losing my mom pretty soon. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep this video on a lighter note. I just wanted to explain, kind of the reasoning behind what's going on. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get behind the camera and show you guys a little bit more. Okay, so as you can see, you may recognize some of the things in this room. This was called my computer room at a certain point in my life, and this was, at my other house where I kept a lot of the older computers that I collected. And so you may recognize a couple of things in overall the room in itself. But this is going to be my primary home now, eventually. The transitionary period isn't going to completely take place for another 3 or 4 weeks, but I've decided to just be proactive on the weekends that I'm not working and try to get as much of my stuff over here as fast as I can, because it looks like I'm going to be moving over here permanently in about 3 or 4 weeks. Anyway, you may, obviously I moved my entire setup over here, including my custom build, which is there, and I've decided to just, kind of have it, wrap around, in other words. I also have this desk that I recently got that I haven't shown you guys. I haven't made a video over here in a long time, so this is kind of going to be both of my setups combined into one. So that's pretty much what's going on. As you can see, of course, we have my IKEA Galant desk, just with everything else pretty much how it normally has been. A couple of small changes due to the lack of a ceiling on this side. I've had to lower the monitors a little bit and turn my speakers the other way, kind of just scrunch everything down so it'll fit. But I went ahead and did it. Everything else is pretty much the same. This is kind of good in a way. I mean, not overall, definitely not, but for the setup anyway, I was able to clean everything up and kind of organize things a little bit better than they have been for the past 4 years. So, of course, I still have my amp and my speaker set up down here. I have all the power to run everything down there. And, yeah, so here it is. There will be a full room tour eventually, I think. Maybe, I don't know if I feel like it. But I'm just kind of giving you guys a sneak peek. I also put in these shelves from IKEA just to kind of give the room a little bit more aesthetic, and I put my iPhone stuff up there just to kind of accentuate the room a little bit. So over here, of course, this is my other IKEA desk that was normally on this side of the L desk in the other room, but yeah, now it's here. And another thing that I did before I even moved any of this stuff in here is I actually got a full networking setup in here. So now I have a network switch back here. It's kind of hard to see and it's really messy, so sorry. It was a lot prettier before I put a bunch of stuff back here, but there is the TP-Link 8-port network switch, or the Ethernet switch, and I also put just a hardwired Ethernet right into the wall. I basically just drilled a hole in the wall out to the outside and ran an Ethernet cable down from the living room, which is where it mainly comes from, but that's pretty cool. I have a little 1-foot Ethernet cable connecting that. I think that's pretty legit. It looked, again, like I said, sorry, it looked much better when it didn't have a bunch of wires and stuff back here now, but yeah, so I figured while I had the opportunity to do that, I did, and I also ran an Ethernet cable all the way over here to this setup, so now I can plop a computer right there and actually have Ethernet access, and I'm planning to do the same for this Dell XPS Core i7 machine over here at a certain point when I get my other Ethernet cable back, so that's kind of neat. Of course, you can't really tell because all the lights are on, but we did add the IKEA Ledbergs, and this is actually a pretty intricate setup. We decided to run a power cord from all the way down there, run it up here, so we have the Ledbergs and obviously the control switch right there, and then we have a junction up here where they're all plugged in. And obviously from this side you can't tell at all. Let me go ahead and turn off a couple of lights here just so you guys kind of get the idea a little bit better. So yeah, that looks pretty cool, especially from this angle. You can barely even see any of it, and yeah, it just looks really nice. Of course, I have another Ledberg right here behind the desk, and that is a dioder, but it's pretty much almost the same thing. So I have lots of LED lights lighting up the whole setup, so I think that adds a lot of like accent that looks really cool. So yeah, as for my bookshelf and other things like that, I'm still kind of in the process of getting all that stuff figured out, but I can actually show you my bookshelf real quick. So I ended up putting that here because obviously there's no space in there, so have all my stuff, including my Apple boxes and cell phones and other stuff like that. So there it is, just outside the door. Anyway, that is pretty much all I can really say at this point. The move is still happening, obviously. I still have another 3 or 4 weeks before I will be over here permanently for good, and I'm still in the process of moving everything out, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I'm up to. As you can see, that looks really cool, especially at night with the lights off. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this little tour video of just, kind of what's going on, and just kind of an explanation of the hardship I'm going through in my life right now. So it's really hard to talk about it without getting emotional, so I'm just going to stop. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.